Welcome to the full solution for Spreadsheet Lab number 3. If you haven't watched the video that explains how we came up with the equation for the y-intercept, this isn't going to make a lot of sense, so please make sure you watch that first. But the equation that we came up with for the y-intercept, actually let me copy it here. Is this. Again, please watch that video. So we just need to take the opposite, so it's equals the opposite of whatever is here in the slope cell, times the x sub 1, and add it to the y sub 1. That's the y-intercept. And it does make sense because the y-intercept is 5 on the green line. We can see that we're right. Once again, when you're doing a spreadsheet, it helps to be able to check your work by having an example that you do know the answer for it first. So the next one, hey wait, we need the same equation, but why are we going to type it in again? We shouldn't. We should copy this equation down to the next cell. So to copy, you move your cursor to the corner where see how it changes to a plus sign. I'm clicking and dragging, and it copies the equation down. And it finds the y-intercept is 1.5. You notice that this equation uses these cells, and I'm double-clicking this equation uses the cells below. So when you copy, it does move and use the next equation down. Okay, so those are the y-intercept. For the x and the y, for where these intersect, once again, you will need to look at the solution where I lay out how to calculate this, but the x-coordinate ends up being b1 minus b2, so that let's call this b1 for the y-intercept for line 1 minus the y-intercept for line 2 divided by, and we need parentheses here, m2 minus m1, so let's take m2, which is the second slope, minus the first slope, close the parentheses, and the intersection, the x-coordinate is 2, and it does match the example that we have. So how do you calculate y? Well, when we solve simultaneous equations, that's two equations, we find an x value, but the y value is just plugging the x into one of these equations. So this is slope-intercept form. So the y value is equal to let's take the first equation, m times x plus b, mx plus b. So we just substituted the 2, essentially b14, into the equation. I find that y is equal to 1, and this does match our solution. But once again, if we change values, everything should update. So let's make this a different point, and this point no longer corresponds to this graph, so I'll get that out of the way. Just try different numbers, 6, 7, and it finds different values for our answer. And there you go. That's the solution.